And welcome to the video. Today we're going to be making vegan ranch dressing. It's simple, quick, easy ingredients. All you need is a bowl and a whisk, so let's go. First you're going to be using oat milk. I used Planet oat milk. You can use any unsweetened plant-based milk that you prefer. Next we're going to be using a vegan mayonnaise. We use Hellman's in our household, so that's what I'm using. Next we're going to be using nutritional yeast, garlic powder, apple cider vinegar, dried dill, onion powder, dried parsley, and paprika. All you need is bowl, whisk, spatula, so let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking 3/4 cups of my mayonnaise and I'm going to be measuring it out, putting it in the bowl. That's going to be the base for our ranch dressing. In a regular ranch dressing, mayonnaise is usually the base. So this is the same thing, it's just a vegan mayonnaise instead of a normal mayonnaise. Okay, so after you have all your mayonnaise measured out into the bowl, you're going to take your apple cider vinegar. I use organic apple cider vinegar. You can use organic, you can use regular, whatever you have. And we're going to measure out 3/4 of a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar and get that into the bowl with our vegan mayonnaise. Done with our apple cider vinegar, the next thing we're going to be doing is taking 1 clove of garlic. I'm using 1 clove of regular garlic. I do have garlic powder. I won't be using it in the video as it turns out because the garlic clove that I had was enough garlic. Sometimes I'm not a fan of raw garlic, but this was just enough in the recipe. So just 1 garlic. If you like more, go for it. If not, just use 1. After our garlic, we're going to be using parsley. So for parsley, I used 1 1/2 teaspoon of parsley. I love parsley. I put it in a lot of things. It's just one of those herbs that's good to have on hand. You can put it in a lot of different recipes. So it's a good one to keep in your pantry, that's for sure. After the parsley, we're going to be using onion powder. And for the onion powder, we are using 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. That's another one of those spices or herbs that it's good to have because with garlic powder they kind of go hand in hand, so you can use it in just about any recipe. After our onion powder, we're going to be doing 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika. Paprika is not going to add any heat to our ranch dressing. It's just going to add almost a little bit of sweetness, and it's going to make the ranch dressing more of a reddish tint. Not dark red, just add a little bit of like pink to it, which is always pretty. After that, we're going to be adding our dill. So we add 3/4 teaspoons of dill. Dill is basically what makes it ranch. I love to have it in the pantry so I can just whip it out and make an easy ranch dressing whenever I want. After our dill, we're going to be adding our nutritional yeast. So I add 1 teaspoon of nutritional yeast. I really love nutritional yeast. It's high in B vitamins, which is really important when you're vegan because you don't get them from other sources. And it's one of those things you can put on pizzas, salads, anything. So it's really good in my ranch dressing. I actually forgot to get out the lemon juice, so I just have organic lemon juice that I get from the regular grocery store, and I'm just going to add a couple of squirts into the ranch dressing mixture. It reacts with the mayo and the milk and just gives it a really good little zing of flavor. So after all the ingredients are in the bowl except the oat milk, which will be coming in just a little bit, we're going to whisk them all together and see what the consistency is of the ranch dressing. So after mixing the ranch dressing, it was a little thick for me, so I did add just a splash or two of oat milk just to get the consistency that is pourable, but not too thin, not too thick. It's really preference if you like a thicker dressing or a thinner dressing. Next, we're going to add some black pepper and some salt. Again, just whatever you prefer, however much you prefer. I like black pepper in my ranch dressing. You can add it, you don't have to, it's whatever you would like. Of course, when you're done making your ranch dressing, you have to taste it and make sure that it's perfect to what your taste buds desire. You could add a little bit more pepper, salt, you might have to add a little bit more dill. Whatever sounds and tastes good to you, that's what you add. So like I said earlier, I didn't use garlic powder. I used 1 clove of raw regular garlic. You can add more garlic if you want and use garlic powder. We love garlic powder, hence why we have this huge thing of garlic that we got at Costco. It will be used, don't worry. But for this recipe, I did not add garlic powder. But again, if you would like to, go ahead, add whatever you like. So after you've got all your ingredients mixed together, everything's good. Next, get an airtight container. I like to use mason jars or any kind of jars to keep my dressings and really anything in because they hold things so well. So I'm just going to pour my ranch dressing into a jar and get the lid on tight. So after you have your dressing in your jar and the lid's on tight, you want to go ahead and put it into the refrigerator. You want to let it sit for at least 3 hours before you eat it, just so that the flavors can come together. Honestly, the longer that you let it sit, the better it's going to taste. In a jar or an airtight container, the dressing will last up to a week in the fridge as long as the oat milk or the mayonnaise doesn't expire before then. Otherwise, it will be good to just sit in the fridge and you can use it over a week's period. Ours never lasts in our fridge more than a week, so that lets you know how good it is. Ranch dressing is one of those things that I missed the most when I became vegan, and so if you love ranch dressing and you're vegan, try this. I swear, you'll love it.